All right, man, we're going to our third and final state of this adventure into Washington. And of course, we're going across the Bridge of the Gods. I'm technically in Oregon until I get to the middle of the bridge, and then I transfer over to Washington. But let me show you this thing. Yeah, baby, yeah, Washington. Good morning, good morning. Marmalade on the PCT. I'm fired up. I remember told you every time I get back on trail after Zero or a new town or something that takes a little longer, I have more to tell you, but I don't think this today will be too bad or too long. But as you saw in my previous video, I finished part 2 of my 3 sections I have to do. I did 97.5 miles from Santiam Pass, which is where Ben and Sisters connects, up to Timberline Lodge. Had an amazing breakfast/lunch, and then we drove about an hour and a half up through Hood River to Cascade Locks, and I got there about midday. No, we got there early afternoon, and thankfully, Larry, thank you so much. Larry's my immense helper on this trip. Couldn't do it without you. He's a member of KOA, so he had the foresight to reserve 2 nights, so I'm losing track of today. It's a Sunday, so Friday, we spent Friday night and Saturday night at the KOA in Cascade Locks, and it was no vacancies, so it's good he made those reservations. It would have been hard to find somewhere except for expensive hotels, and those probably were full too. It was a very busy weekend. Next weekend is PCT trail days, but so we just vegged at the KOA. I'm not sure if I have a video clip here of it or not. I think I do, but I'm not sure. I just slept in my tent 2 nights. We made fires and had good food. They did laundry there. They have showers and all that, so did all that there. Got there Friday, Saturday morning. We had a really nice morning over at the coffee shop, and then we went across the street and had some breakfast. As you can see here, beautiful view of the Bridge of the Gods. Where I went over this morning, I showed you. And it was really just a chance to lay low. Shanks Mare, I had a box I sent from, I'm losing track of towns. I think it was Edna, you sent it to me, I think, and I apologize if I'm wrong, but I had so much food. I told you I sent a box with tons of stuff that I like to myself to Cascade Locks. So we picked that up, and I made about 95% of my resupply out of that. So thank you again a second time. I sent to Cascade Locks because it was one of the only towns that nobody was sending me a package. So it saved me a lot of money. So got up this morning early. So what's interesting about Cascade Locks, and kind of a little unknown fact, is it's at the lowest elevation on the whole PCT. It's 157 feet. So the problem with that is that, it's down by the river. is it's hotter, and we're getting ready to have a heat wave. And when I woke up this morning at 4:45 and was packing my stuff, it was 67 degrees already and it was dark. So that shows you how warm it's gonna get at 157 feet. But I'm climbing up, unfortunately, a lot of elevation today. I think I'm gonna try to do 2 mountains, which I'll talk about. And when you get to Washington, it gets steeper and a little rougher, but I heard the trail's in good shape. Not too many blowdowns, if any. Probably just a few here and there, so not bad, so you can keep it moving. But the mountains are steeper in Washington. I've done the upper 200 miles of Washington and it was very steep. But it's my favorite so far. I mean, you know, when you go from Oregon to Washington, it just instantly turn into something like different. But already I can see a lot more ferns. It's just as green as it was in northern Oregon, but it's gonna get more and more lush, more and more water as we go north. And very big mountains, but the views are insane up here. It's been hard to hike because there's so many blackberries in this first section. We got to the bridge, we were sitting there in the car at 5:30, but it was so dark. I didn't want to film. I really wanted to get on trail because the earlier the better when it's hot. I wanted to be able to see a little bit on the bridge, and that's why I waited till I started about 10 minutes to 6. And how about that bridge, huh? All right, so let's go over. Today is day 158 overall. It is August 13th. Like I said, a Sunday. This is the plan now. Today's a Sunday. It's 82 miles to Trout Lake. So I'm gonna do this section. Larry's gonna go visit some friends and stuff and then pick me up at Trout Lake. But so it's pretty steep, but I have all day to hike. So it's kind of one of those things where when you look at the profile of the elevation, it's a little intimidating. Like today it's gonna be probably 5,000 or more feet climb if I make it to where I want to go. I want to go 24 point something miles, like 24 and a half on top of a peak. So I have to go over a big mountain here in a little bit, a few more miles. Pretty long, big one. And then go down flat for quite a while and then end the day climbing up, which is always the hardest thing. Depends how hot it is and how I feel. I told you when you first get back on trail, it's a weird feeling. I purposely don't do a lot of physically active things because I'm trying to rest my body and my mind. So I feel super fresh right now. But you also get out of the grind. It's a weird thing. And when you're in the grind and you're doing a 4-day section every day and you're getting your, you know what, handed to you, you're in the grind, but you're also super sore and tired. So it's a weird thing. It's like kind of pick your poison. Like I'm fresh right now. I want to know how I feel till I start climbing. I already did one little steep hill. It wasn't hard, so I felt good. But you never know when you do like a 5 or 7 mile climb how you're gonna feel. And I have 2 of those today. So see how it goes. I want to average, it's 82 miles. So the plan is if I could do like 23 to 25 a day, let's say right in there, that'll get me 70 to 75 for 3 days. 70 miles to 75. And then I remember it's only 82 mile section, so I would only have like 7 to 13 miles in. Our plan is for him to meet me on a Forest Service road. When you come out on the trail, it's a Forest Service road. And Trout Lake's very great trail town. They have a shuttle service. You can even call a guy and get a ride, but in town, there's a shuttle service. It's not an official one. Probably somebody in their car. But they set times on the trail, like 4 times a day they come and they get hikers. So if you sit there, they'll come at that time. So I'm lucky enough, unless I miss him and I'm running late or early, I'm not gonna take that shuttle. So right now he's gonna, I guess there's a trailhead there, so he has a new trailer, so he can actually camp out the night before and hang out, wait for me. So we should connect, no problem. So that'll be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So Wednesday is when I plan on getting there. We're gonna go explore. We may go drive around for a while. That's Wednesday, and then the plan is Thursday. Shanks Mare again is hooked up a good rate on a room in Hood River, which is about 20 miles over from east of Cascade Locks. So Thursday we're gonna have a hotel room. I can clean up, do all that. And then Friday and Saturday is trail days in Cascade Locks. So we're gonna drive over Friday morning, pay and get in there on Thunder Island and get a tent spot. And I think the event starts at 12:30 p.m. on Friday. It's a half day, and then it's all day Saturday. And by doing these 82 miles, right now I have around 313 miles to be done with this whole trail. So when I do this 82, I think that's around 224 left. So when I get done with trail days, the next day will be Sunday. I'll drive into Trout Lake and I'll get on trail. So it'll be on the 20th of August. I have 212 miles to do. So literally I can finish. My goal was to finish right around the end of August. My birthday's on August 26th, but I'm not gonna be able to finish on that. But my original goal was to finish on August, the end of August. I have leave from work till the 17th of September, and I really wanted some time. We're gonna take a road trip. He's so kind. He's gonna drive me back home to San Diego so we can do a road trip, go see some national parks and stuff on the way, and explore. And I don't want to get home with like one day to go and have to go right back to work. I want about a week to, live in my car, so I have to get my life settled in that way, get everything back the way it was. It's hard when you stop your life to hike because you have to go back and restart it all. It takes a little bit of work, so I want some downtime before I might even go to the beach a little bit in San Diego. So that's the plan right now. Northern Washington was my favorite as when it comes to the most beautiful part of the trail so far, but that was way back in 19, so eventually we'll hit Goat Rocks and the Knife Edge and all that. It'll be exciting to see. All right, that's it. I'm losing my breath. See you down the trail. Got my toughest of the two climbs right now. As soon as I leave this creek, I'm at about 500 foot elevation, and I have just shy of 3,000 feet over 7 miles. So pretty steep, not crazy, but let's see. You never know. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys my campsite. Usually I forget and get right in there, but the bugs aren't bad right now. But the trail goes, it's hard to see, but right across there. And this is an old forestry road, but a zillion spots. There's somebody else down there with a Durst tent, but there's my triplex. Look at this spot, perfect. Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna use it, but you could even sit on this wood out here. I don't think you're supposed to have fires, who knows, but I'm not having a fire. Yeah, I'm all set up. I'm gonna get inside and just get horizontal. I'll do a closing in a minute. Well, all right, guys, I had a chance to get the inside of my tent all organized and lay down and kind of let my back stretch out again. It gets really tight. My lower back's been hurting ever since I started, but it's as the day goes on. But that's the life of fused vertebrae and being older. So, but anyway, yeah, so I did 25.25 miles, so 25 and a quarter. And if you guys saw what I did, it's very hard to show you. I filmed it was super pretty, but it was major green tunnel. And so there's not a lot to show you views-wise. If you're here, though, it's so pretty. It's what I like. I know the more north I get, the more views we'll have, and even more lush. It's kind of a dry lush, like not super wet. The water's a little scarce. You guys wouldn't believe this. So I left, this morning at 5:50 from the Cascade Locks side and went over the bridge. So I did actually probably a half a mile extra that doesn't count because Washington doesn't start till the middle of the bridge. So somehow in the middle of the Columbia River, Oregon stops on the map and Washington starts. So halfway across the bridge is when my mile started. But I started at 5:50 p.m., so 10 minutes to 6, and I finished, 5:50 a.m., and I finished at 5:55 p.m., so I did 12 hours and 5 minutes. And all I can say is it got a lot steeper and a lot tougher. You guys, I just looked at the elevation. It's kind of hard to believe, but I can believe it because I was like failing at the end. I was not failing, but like my body was like done. So I kind of forced myself the last half mile, but I did 6,742 feet up. 6,742 feet up. The first climb was tough with the rocks and it was getting warm and stuff, but I was fresher. The second one was, unfortunately, to get up here, I'm on top of a mountain. I'm not super high, probably 30-something hundred feet, but remember we started at 178 feet, I think, this morning. That's the lowest spot on the PCT, but yeah, I'm up on a mountain, so it's really nice here. There's another guy over here, and I haven't seen anybody else come in yet, but there's room for 100 tents, so it's on an old Forest Service road. So I haven't looked at tomorrow, but I'm hoping it's not as volatile. I think there's one big climb in the middle of the day, but maybe that's it. It'd be nice just to have one where you get over it and then you're done for the day, but we'll see. Because it's so much steeper here, when you show just a baby bump on the app, it'll show like major mounds and stuff, but when you have, like, let's say you have a little up that's like a half a mile long, it's really steep. It's not, that's why I have so many feet of vertical. In Oregon, when you see a little bump, it's not very steep. It's practically flat. So that's the difference. So every little bit of uphill you kind of have to pay attention to, because I took a lot of the small ones for granted in Oregon, and I shouldn't have here, because I thought they were going to be the same way, but it's much steeper. But the trail smoothed out. I had blowdowns were bad. There was 42 of them, which for 25 plus miles is pretty good. It was an easy blowdown. There was one or two difficult ones, but almost all of them, it was kind of cool. There was maybe one every 2 or 3 miles, so hardly any. And then sometimes there was 3 or 4 in about a 30-foot spot, so you just get over 3 or 4 real quick, and then you wouldn't see any for 5 miles. So it was an easy day for blowdowns. I didn't get to see any deer or bear, but I saw a snake, so that's 3 snakes for me this year, not poisonous. And that's about it. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know how the video is going to turn out because it's just a lot of green tunnel, but it was really pretty, and I tried to show that. And that's about it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the morning for day 2 of this stretch to Trout Lake.